know, beautiful story with a happy ending. Gonna tear down the empire from the inside out.
Whoever controls the drug business controls the streets.
Welcome, everyone, back to Inside All Day presents The Penguin. We're going to be discussing episode 4. But before we get into it, if everyone could please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 500 subs by the end of this year. One last thing I want to present before I bring in my lovely panel is I am competing for the Face of Horror. I am a quarterfinalist. It is a free vote. It is pinned in the comments, so please go ahead and go vote. You can vote free every 24 hours, once each time. So with that all out of the way, I'm going to bring everybody in. Kata, Gooch, Sammy, Nick, how's it going, guys?
Hello.
Hello, fantastic.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
It's just fantastic on a Monday.
Persona, ¿cómo está?
I don't speak Spanish, so let's not do that. I don't.
That's Italian.
Oh, see, look, even worse.
Persona.
Even worse.
For the Italians on the panel, how do you say this episode's name?
I believe it's Centi'Anni.
Yeah, Chianti.
Or, yeah, is it Centi'Anni, right?
Yeah,
Centi'Anni?
Yeah,
It's like Cent.
Centi'Anni. Okay.
Yeah.
What an episode. Holy cow.
Yeah.
We finally got Sophia's, well, a little bit of Sophia's background story, and I'll say it on air too. Kato was right.
I'm always right. Well, no, I'm not always right. I'm just never wrong.
Fair.
Is
the way
that
to say it.
always being right then?
It's a smart ass way to say it, yeah.
Oh, Joshy's here.
Oh, Josh. I see Sassy. She can't stick around because she hasn't seen the episode yet. Cannoli's doing Near Dark over on MMM tonight, which is, I think, probably one of my favorite vampire movies. So after watching this, please go there. It's really, really good. Oh, well, okay. Morgan, you bargained for. More
Clever.
Pretty good.
See what you did there.
You're so smart.
I forgot
to laugh.
My wife, ladies and gentlemen.
I do have a question for the panel about this episode. Are you surprised that we got this her background so far into this? It's so far in instead of holding it for the end.
No, I actually imagined
spot.
it was going to happen right here.
Yeah.
It seemed like the logical place to do it after the last episode.
I agree.
Halfway point sounds like a good spot to put some backstory flashbacks.
Yeah, especially after everything they set up in the last episode, I was completely expecting them to do a backstory.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And it works, unlike another show that happened earlier this year with flashbacks.
There's a lot of shows that get flashbacks wrong. Let's just throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm talking about The Acolyte.
Oh, I didn't watch. I didn't watch it.
The Atrocity.
I didn't watch it. Yeah. I don't know why you guys put yourselves through pain and suffering like
I'm
you do, but it's okay.
Why I'm not watching Rings of Power.
Fair enough.
I would just produce hate content at that point, and I don't have the patience for that right now.
I don't have the mental fortitude for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't have the time. I would rather watch things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
It's like the Penguin.
Like the Penguin. So the episode opens up where we left off in the former episode where Nadia, not me, the other Nadia, shows up basically thinking Penguin has betrayed them. And this is also where Sophia realizes that he had killed her brother too as well in this instance.
Yes.
Which I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out this coming Sunday as well.
It's getting spicy.
It is. I actually thought we were going to see more of this for this episode instead of the flashback, but I'm not unhappy. I think this is probably the second strongest episode in the series.
I agree.
Agreed.
I agree 100%.
and him bullshitting his way out of not getting shot.
That first visual of like where he's talking to Nadia and like basically just like throwing Sophia under the bus, and there's like no audio, and she's just looking at him like this fucking just saying everything he's saying, and just seeing how he truly does not care about anybody other than himself. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, this is so great. He's so bad. He's such a bad person. I love it.
She gets knocked out and bam, and he just runs off for himself.
Yeah,
I think she's gonna use Oswald. She's learned from her family, and she's gonna take everything that she's learned. And even when that quote she says later on about men, I think she's gonna use Oswald. She's gonna schmooze him over and use him to the point where she takes full control over the whole crime syndicate.
Yeah, I think that's what's being set up here, especially by the end of this episode, and kind of what you see in the preview for next week. I don't usually watch the previews for next week, but given what happens in this episode, I really wanted to see what they were kind of leading up to. But it definitely is a conglomeration of action from the looks of things. So it's definitely going to be a free for all, and obviously with Sophia at the helm now, it's definitely looking like you are probably right, Gooch. So it's gonna be fun.
Well, you know what? I'll save it to the end because it's about Johnny, but we'll save it to the end. All right. So I do like the contrast of this, where you get this flashback where Sophia is almost innocent. I mean, I know she's still a mob daughter, and I'm sure she's seen some shit and she knows some things, but she's not as empty as she has been, or as like there's light in her eyes in these scenes where she's going and talking about these charities. And I also love the contrast that she's wearing something, like she's not covering up her neck, she's not covering up any scarring and stuff too, which shows the contrast as the episode continues, where when she's in Arkham, it's basically Arkham is like sucking the life out of her each time. So I really like this. And it also shows her acting range. By the way, it took me to this episode to realize this is the mother from How I Met Your Mother. Like it took me, this is her.
Really?
This is How I Met Your Mother, the mother. Yes.
Okay.
Interesting.
Nobody else has seen that show? Okay.
I have it a long time ago. I mean, I watched it a long time ago, but maybe I just don't remember it.
Yeah, she's the mother at the end.
I didn't really watch that show. I've seen a few episodes, but not really.
Yeah, it's weird seeing her in. Anyway, sorry about that. All right, moving on.
A nice little fun fact.
Yeah, nice little fun fact. This is what ended up happening to her. This is probably why she left what's his face. So all good.
Yeah.
Why she's left Ted.
She's in a better spot now.
Yeah. She also did a movie with Andy. Yeah, she's been around for a while. There's actually a horror movie she was in a couple years ago that I haven't gotten into, but it's on my list. This is 5 minutes in, by the way. This is where I text everybody and I was like, okay, Kato, you were right, because it's setting up the fact that this reporter is asking her about these other women and the bodies and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, so Kato was right. She was set up to be the hangman in this episode.
Yeah, I think it was really cool the way they did this episode because, number one, obviously, like you said, Nadia, we get to see Kristen's acting range, which I think she's done a phenomenal job so far, halfway through this series, but especially in this episode where this is solely about her, you can truly see the types of, personalities she can kind of pull out within herself, within this character of Sophia Falcone. But to see her be, like you said, she's not purely innocent, but she has like a good head on her shoulders where she just wants to do right by her father, and obviously doesn't like the confrontation of the press and the pressure from paparazzi or anything like that, and she just wants to set up a nice foundation for her mother because she loved her mother, and obviously that's where things start to spiral out of control once the what's her name? I forgot what this reporter's name or the press name is.
Summer
Gleason, right?
Summer Gleason, that's it.
Yeah. The moment Summer puts those questions in her head, much like Penguin then says in the car, that's when her entire life took a turn for the worse. And it's unfortunate that that Summer really kind of was the catalyst to making her life a living hell. Because if she never would have entertained the question, then she wouldn't have had those thoughts enter her head. And then obviously she wouldn't have asked her father those questions, and her father wouldn't have caught wind of what she might or might not do. Then she never would have gone to Arkham, and then gotten labeled as the hangman, where she is clearly not the hangman.
I agree.
Blame Summer.
I agree with you, Nick. And there's an interesting, almost Game of Thrones here, where he tells her at dinner time, like, this is all for you. Like, I want to leave everything for you. I want to break tradition. I want to leave it all for you.
Yeah.
And then pulls it back, similar to what we just watched with House of Dragon, season 1. The wishy-washy.
Which would never happen. Which would never happen.
Never have a woman?
No, they would never have a woman. Italians would never have a woman at the head of the table. They're more the daughter definitely they presented her correctly. Like she knows the business, but she doesn't know behind the scenes of the business. She doesn't know what happens in the underground stuff. She speculates, she can assume things, but she doesn't know exactly what's going on.
Like Alberto does.
Yeah. So the way they set it up is the right way of doing it, because like the Italian daughters are like dolls. They're pretty little things that their fathers.
Middle Eastern daughters are too. Yeah.
Wow, there's a word for that.
Belladonna.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's true
Belladonna,
yeah.
Is that why older Italian women are always bitter, because they never get to be in charge?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true.
They're in charge of the family, like the immediate like they're in charge of the family, but they're not in charge of the family. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the family, but not the family business.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, Gooch is right. Like, you've never seen an Italian woman be the head of the the family's mob side of things, right? Like,
that's a sign of weakness in their eyes. That is like extreme weakness.
Yeah, it's definitely patriarchal.
And Carmine here is played by a different actor than who was in the Batman.
Yes, that's
right.
Scheduling conflicts, I believe they said.
Turturro. Yeah.
Yep. It took me a second to do. I still.
And he did great. Mark Strong.
Yeah, he did. Mark Strong.
He's a solid actor.
He's been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
he's always he never does poorly, so I knew he would do good. I've never
Yeah.
seen Mark Strong put in a bad performance in anything.
Yep, good replacement. I dug it. Definitely caught like the same vibe that Turturro was portraying in the Batman.
Well, I think Badger said it best, like earlier today. He served the character that Joan Turturro did, and that's what you want. You don't want people to take a character and make it their own and change
100%.
things about the character.
Mm-hmm.
Like what we're seeing with all the IPs now, they're just taking everything and putting themselves into these characters. That's not what we should be doing. We should be serving these characters and doing what's best for the character. And
Agreed.
This is what we see today.
He does a great job, though. He does such a good job. I mean, granted, he doesn't have the same like kind of like not like slur, of speech like the other actor does. Like the other actor has a specific like pattern of speech that you can recognize, but he still does like a great like job.
You know what his portrayal kind of reminded me more of? I recently watched the was it the Long Halloween anime movies, part 1 and part 2, because I think they're really good, but and they do the comic books pretty good justice, but Strong's characterization of Falcone here reminds me more of like the animated version of Falcone rather than the Turturro version from the Batman. Like, and I
little
agree,
bit.
Kate. Like, it's like his actual, like, the tone of his voice and like that sort of delivery in the Batman movie is slightly different.
It's so like, I don't know how to describe it. It has way more swagger. That's how I can say it. He has way more swagger in the movie.
He's smoother.
And I'll say this: like my Uncle Rocco, okay, plain and simple, head of the family. He didn't have to say anything, but when he did say something, it was heavy, and you heard every word that he said, and you took every word he said, like, to heart. Like, you were just like, okay, I got it. Yeah. Same kind of vibe you're getting for him. Doesn't really need to say anything, but he just needs to do a look or say the slightest sentence, and you're like, it's intimidating, and you need to have your ears open and hear what he has to say.
Well,
that is a Don. That is a Don of the family, basically.
We also need to keep in mind he's playing a younger Falcone too. He's playing that character 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
You know, so I think he did a great job incorporating that. So
I agree with all of you. I agree with Josh in the chat too. I find him to be a lot more charming and smoother in this. Like, I feel like I could have a drink with this guy where in the movie, not saying he did a fantastic job, but he felt very much on edge the whole time in the movie. Like, I don't want to be around that guy. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's a good point.
But the characters like this, especially like the mafia, where like when you're seeing like a Don, everything that they say, they're setting you up to see what kind of reaction you're going to have, what kind of response you're going to give, so they know exactly where you stand, what kind of person you are. Everything's a setup with these when you're like talking with these individuals. So like when he's saying like, I want you to be the head of the family, and her response, he's gauging her, he's reading everything that she's doing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's genuine? Do you think he actually wants her to be the head of the family, or
No.
he's just kind of testing her?
No, I didn't think so either. I thought it was a setup as well. Because he wouldn't. There's no way he would let her run the family.
The correct answer that he was looking for was, no, Daddy, I don't think I would be a good fit. I think he was looking for her to say Alberto should take the lead after he's gone. Yep. That's exactly what he was looking for. Not even
the family.
I didn't even think of it.
Family.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about tradition.
Yeah,
that's the answer. And she failed the test. And the fact that she didn't understand that just shows you that she doesn't understand the actual business side of things.
Yep.
As much as she might understand like tradition and gatherings and family and blah, 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 dinner, all that kind of stuff, she doesn't truly understand it. And that's, I think at the moment he started to go, she might be a problem. And the straw that broke the camel's back was the moment she started asking questions.
I mean, look at his
it was almost like it was almost like in Shogun, when in the beginning scenes of Shogun, when he says, I want you to take over the role of Shogun, and he says, no, I'm not prepared to do that right now. And he knew that he was thinking long term of the setup and everything that was going to happen to him. And it's almost like this right here, but it's done different, and it's done really well, where she just dives in and says, oh, I'd be honored. And it's just like, that's not the response he wants. He wants her to have that critical thinking mind, that problem thinking, like what is the correct response here? Like, you have to have this mindset that you're constantly thinking of all the options. Like, A, this doesn't work. B, this doesn't work. B, C, this works, but there'll be issues with that. That's what he wants. That's how that's how Dons would groom their children. And Alberto, as much of a clusterfuck he is, he's not ready to take that role. And he's actually looking for Sophia to say, I can help Alberto become the leader that you need for the family.
The correct answer for sure.
Yep.
Man, I just got chills by that. Gooch.
He's right though. That's exactly how it would be.
Yeah.
Well, because like Italians, Middle Eastern, we're a same kind of family dynamic where the men are the head of the family, like especially with my family, like there's a certain, my dad is head of the entire family, and just how the women and men dynamic. And thinking of this, if I was in her spot, that's exactly what my dad would have wanted me to say if I had an older brother or a brother similar age. Like, oh no, Dad, I'll help with so and so, make sure that he's ready to take over when you're ready to step down. Like, I could see that dynamic too, because I live it with my family. But yeah, wow. I now look at this differently, and I kind of want to rewatch this episode to see, because in my head I didn't take it that she failed the test here, but now learning a little bit more,
that goes to how smooth he was, though. Like it makes you think that, oh yeah, he's definitely wants his daughter to take his spot. No, he's just gauging to see what she's gonna say, because this is Carmine Falcone. He wouldn't make himself look weak, and regardless of what you think, if he put his daughter at the head of the table, they would think that's weak. So
Yes.
of course he wasn't trying to do it.
If he killed his wife, what would stop him from killing his daughter? I mean,
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait till we get to that. That was such a reveal where it's like, I told you. Fucking told you.
I do like that it shows the dynamic between the two of them having such a good relationship as siblings, as fucked up of a family that they live in too.
But even here, like, she's asking him, like, what is Daddy doing? Like, and Alberto knows what's behind this. Like, and he doesn't even know fully what's behind the curtain. He's seen a few things, but not everything. And she's like so naive to this world because she's been propped up as this little belladonna, that she's like wanting to know everything, because now Dad has offered that role as, taking over the family. She wants to learn everything she can. And she still can't get answers. So she has like even Penguin's gauging her, like, and how she was responding, everything. Like, everything is a setup. Everything that they talk, every conversation is a constant read. How are they responding? What are they asking?
Wow, man. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, and once you see it like that, you're like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I lived it my whole life. But,
yeah.
And the interesting flashbacks of her finding her mother, that's sad. That's really, really sad.
Sad.
And it's interesting because you see the woman she's become prior to Arkham, and to have to see that and go through that. She's a very strong person. And man, I don't know much of Batman lore, so I don't know the extent. I know Arkham Asylum is a big place in the whole Batman world, and it's terrible, but I didn't understand the extent of it, because in movies it's never shown to this extent.
It was built by the Waynes, Arkham Asylum.
Yep. Well, it wasn't.
Why I hate Batman even more now.
It was built by Martha Wayne's parents.
Yes.
Oh.
Or not
with the
parents,
intent of helping, or with the intent of
intent of helping, but it's corrupt from the ground up, just like everything else.
Just like everything else in Gotham, yeah.
And
that's what kind of the Riddler exposes.
It's an example of, like, no matter how much good you try to do in Gotham, it's always going to get corrupted.
Yeah. And I mean, you can argue that there's nobody who goes into Arkham Asylum who is better off when they come out. It does the opposite of mental health care. There's people who are like we see with Sophia, who are, like, wrongfully incarcerated there, who come out kind of with this, if not complete insanity, but at least an education on how to be a better criminal. It's one of the worst, most terrifying places in Gotham, which is.
I can't wait till we get to that part, dude.
Yeah.
Because the music, it's the music in that part that makes it so,
it's everything.
So terrible.
Yeah. I got something to say before we.
Okay. Dude, by you something to say when we get.
No. Just keep going forward. I got.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay. And the whole time,
she's
Oz
so gorgeous.
She is.
Yeah,
she's beautiful, especially in that dress.
It's so much more heartbreaking.
Yeah. It's interesting because Oz is placed almost like a chess piece throughout this episode too, because he's just overhearing, he's just intaking information. And when originally in the last episodes, I thought he gave her up to the cops. I didn't realize that he just gave her up to her dad.
Your father, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, honestly, that isn't like he didn't overstep his boundaries there. Like,
Yeah,
as
I mean, that's the Don's daughter. Like, if
well,
you're
he's
when
trying
he
to
worked
do
for the
something,
Don,
let him know.
you know, he might
Yeah.
have loyalty to her. He didn't go to anybody else. He didn't go to the cops. He went to her father and said, like, this is what happened. Like, what her father did is monstrous.
Yeah.
But I don't think he had any ill intentions towards her. I don't even think he thought he'd be moving up. He was just doing what he thought was required of him. Now, did it benefit him? Sure. And you know, that's what he was supposed to be doing, but I don't think he realized the consequences of what was going to happen there at all.
Agreed. I think you're spot on, Sammy. I think, yeah, he was partly looking out for himself, but also he was doing right by the family and his boss, you know, Carmine. Even though he's her driver, but at the end of the day, he doesn't work for her. He listens to her and takes where to go, but that's because that's what her father, you put him as a pawn to do, right? To move forward and protect the family at any cost. Just like when she says, "What are you doing in here?" and he says, "Your father wants to see you." It's like, oh, yeah, about that. Okay, so I love like the slight hesitation, like the door is open and he's just not even facing the entrance. He's just kind of like already going through the conversation he's about to have with her, and obviously, like you said, is monstrous because, and I agree. I don't think Oz knew what he was going to do, and you kind of suspect that once the cops show up too. He's like, "What the hell is this all about?" Right? And says like she's innocent, she didn't do it, like, you know, and you know, that bastard, you know, dirty cop Kenzie, who we see from the Batman as well.
I like that.
I was like, that's where I was like, oh shit, that's right. Kenzie and Carmine choked out Selena Kyle's Eastern European friend in the movie. So I like how they incorporated that again.
I like the fact
once I saw him, I was like, oh, they got the same actor. I like that. Okay, thank you.
I like the fact that they're showing the Penguin how he comes up in the ranks and how he gets to see how fractured the family actually is and how he can plot and use certain pieces future and in the future. He knows where to go to, who to play, who to talk to. Like it's done. There's so many layers to this. Like it's done really, really well.
Yep.
Well, it brings it back to his statement in the first episode about making himself small so the other guys feel bigger too. It's just all about manipulation and just trying to find the right moment to take over, just moving around on the chessboard. I also wonder, because we go from this scene directly to her being arrested, at what point did her father set her up? Like, is this prior to this conversation, or did he just make a call as soon as she exited the door?
Oh, I think he made a call as soon as she exited the door. I think she was, you know, they were obviously she didn't even make it home. You know what I mean? Like this is how instantaneous, this is how wide his grasp is.
He may have made the order, but it's probably Luca and Johnny that did all the finagling.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that, but I'm saying it was like, I think it was that night where she got picked up. I don't think it was a couple days past. And
it'd be like right after
the
conversation they had.
Well, she said it was that same night, because she says the last time I saw you all together was 10 years ago, my father's birthday. So.
I just assume that if Oz has already told him that she's talking to reporters or a reporter, that he decided then and there that he was going to frame her for it, and that this begging and basically saying like, "Hey, Dad, no, I trust you. Don't worry about it," has no weight on this. That he's already made his mind up before she even entered the door.
Oh, absolutely. And everything that she was saying afterwards about his mother, that was just upsetting him more. But that was just also him going like, I made the right decision here. She can't be trusted. You know, she suspects me of killing her mother. And, you know, like I said, he's a piece of work, man. Just do that to your own
Yeah.
daughter. That's
a piece of shit, bro.
Do you think
You know what?
Oz
That's
was
good.
expecting her to be set up for this? Because
no way.
as much
No,
as
no.
I know, Oz
he was
knows
left
this
out of the
is-
loop.
Okay,
He's left out of.
I figured,
yeah.
right? He didn't
his
know this
reaction
was going
pretty
on.
genuine.
Yeah, it looked genuine.
Like
Very much
even right there, he was like this. He thought, like I said earlier, he did what he was required to do. He reported this to his boss. He had no idea the ramifications that would ensue by reporting it. He didn't know that Carmine is like this big of a psycho where he would do this to his own daughter. I mean, he looks puzzled here. You know, he thought she was going to get a slap on the wrist. Maybe she's gonna, stay at the house. Maybe she takes a trip to Italy, like they pose, earlier in the season. Nothing to the extent of we're gonna throw you in Arkham and throw away the key, and you're gonna go down for all these murders. Like, there's no way he could have foreseen that.
I agree. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get to the fun part. We're gonna get to Arkham. I know you all. I am a newbie to this. I know of it just in passing. I know the games and stuff like that. Didn't know the extent of the craziness that it is, nor the history. That's a really cool fact that it's the Waynes. Well, Martha is it Martha? Martha Wayne.
Well,
right? Martha.
it-
yeah. Okay.
It did burn down, and then the Waynes did like rebuild it in honor of like.
I'm
Why
curious
did you
to know
say
what's
that name?
Why
Why
did
did
you
you
say
oh,
this?
God.
Was it Jebediah Arkham?
Jebediah, yeah.
I am very surprised that her acting is phenomenal here, by the way. She's fantastic through this whole episode, through this whole series so far. But I mean, realizing that, the man that you admire, that you were told that you're going to take over for, that you work very hard to get his approval, basically backstabbed you, your own father. And the emotions playing through here. Again, this is emotional, Sophia, which is fantastic. Contrast to what we've had, where it's just been very cold and empty.
Again, naive.
Mm-hmm.
But
What do you
her
call
acting is so great,
Donnas?
bro.
Belladonnas?
Belladonna.
Belladonna. Being told that she only has to do 6 months, and then it turns out that she has to be put in Arkham with no visitations, nothing, and they have to watch her. This is great. I would love to, if Arkham was expanded more. By the way, I don't know if you
get
guys.
its own show.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're supposed to get a whole
Is
show
it?
on it.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, it
that's
was.
great.
No, I think they canceled it, unfortunately.
Well, they I saw something today where they were like, apparently it's not as dead as everybody thinks it is.
Oh, okay. So Julian Rush, I have a sneaky suspicion that that's going to be Julian Day, the calendar man. I think they gave him a different name because they've been given different names to the characters. I think that potentially this guy could be the calendar man.
I could see that. Honestly, he's
a highly intellectual. He knows Arkham. He even mentioned something about the holidays, which was like,
but he also has that moral ambiguity there where he's watching this go on.
Yes,
where he doesn't necessarily do anything, in which is insane because you could see. I think he genuinely has feelings for Sophia.
Oh yeah,
and he's not willing to stand up to the corruption of Doctor. What was the main doctor?
The V.
Oh no, it's something like Ventress or something.
It was like Vivek. Was it Vivek?
No,
was it?
I want to say Ventress.
Ventress.
Yeah,
something like that.
God dang it, she's so
yeah,
hot.
Ventress.
Yeah,
she's so fucking hot, bro. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
she needs to win something for this. I don't know.
She does.
She does. By the way, this is also he plays Shades in the
Shades.
and
Goose from Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. Yeah. I know him for Shades. I haven't seen. I've only seen.
But like,
Sons of Anarchy.
Why? Here's the question: why introduce this character and have no payout? He has to be linked to something, and I think
he's not a nobody actor either.
Yeah,
no, he's
exactly.
a pretty good actor. So
yeah, I think he's going to be the Calendar Man moving forward. Like, I think when we get to the Batman 2, I think we're going to see him in that
So
role.
is the Calendar Man the one that kills one day a month, depending on the holiday?
I don't
call
think
that
kills.
I think it's more of a more
robberies and stuff, right?
I think he kills, but I think he thank you, Bobby. I think he sets people up to kill. I can't remember because he's not really. They don't really talk about him in the comics, so you don't really know the true story of the Calendar Man. Actually.
Yeah, he's treated as more of so there's the holiday killer in the Long Halloween, and he's kind of like the butt of the jokes because he won't cross that line, so he's kind of like a half measure. But I mean, but in other instances, like he's a crazy like costume villain where his whole cape is made of calendar pages and everything. So it was like, depending on which iteration you get, it's the same thing with the Riddler. Sometimes in certain in mainstream yes, exactly, in mainstream continuity, the Riddler doesn't really kind of cross that killing line. In some situations he does, and then in Elseworlds, in certain stories, he's a psycho killer and he's got a question mark like carved into his forehead. You know what I mean? So people take liberties with these characters. I don't mind that.
Wikipedia says he's a successful inventor capable of designing the machinery needed to deploy his various schemes. His talents aid him in to pursue his obsession with quirks of the calendar, carefully planning and theming his crimes around holidays, weekdays, and the seasons. It's like,
so he seems like more like, so he would rob a bank, but like he'd get away in like a giant Thanksgiving turkey. You know what I mean? He's one of those kind of niche.
Oh, kind of like a goofy kind of
gimmicky. He's a
kind of like a condiment king.
Condiment king. No, Kite Man. No, but he does, like they do. Like Sammy summed it up the best. Like, they take liberties and they make him darker, and it says it in the Wikipedia as well. And I've known him from the Long Halloween, where he has this kind of dark presence and the psychological back and forth chess game with Batman and everything. So I think they're gonna like have him as Calendar Man in this.
No, they have him kind of like a Hannibal Lecter character in the Long Halloween, where he's just standing there in like full garb.
Fits his personality here.
Because at that point,
what'd you say?
No, I was just saying. Go ahead.
I was
he was in Arkham Asylum too, right?
Yep. Yeah. He had the tattoos on his head that he had in Long Halloween. That's the character design.
Oh, okay. I mean, he's got a big enough forehead. Maybe he'll shave his head.
I mean, regardless, I think it would be a cool turn if he turns out to be like Calendar Man or somebody like that. I mean, everything that they do just makes me want more. So I'm down for whichever they do.
Well, what if his middle name's Day?
That'd be cool.
I mean, I would be interested to see what Sophia does moving forward with Julian. I wonder if she's going to start to use him and in turn manipulate him to work for her, and maybe that's what causes him to maybe go on his dark turn. Because usually, I think from what we've seen, he's like locked up, right? He's already kind of in this criminalized activity, but to our knowledge, from what we've seen in this show, he hasn't done anything wrong or done anything that would label him as a criminal. I mean, well, he's a piece of shit, obviously, for what he's done to her, but even though he tried to stop Ventress, and he claims that he didn't know this was going to happen, and then he left, and then obviously still tries to treat her and clearly still has feelings for her. And but it's weird because he's supposed to have like this intelligence, and I feel like she saw right through him and outsmarted him. So it's like I think that it's like, really, how clever is he?
Maybe he's playing her.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't think he's in love with her or anything. I think he sees an opportunity here. I don't.
Or it might be both.
Yeah, maybe at first opportunity, maybe grows over feelings, but I don't get like admiration or anything like that out of it. I see it as he wants to use her for something, and we don't know what it is.
Oh, I could see that. I think she's just that much smarter. You know, she's just that much more capable. And also, I think she's been through so much. She's done trusting people. You know, she can't out of just simple survival tactics. She doesn't trust anybody anymore. If she has a relationship with you, she's using you to some capacity. She's been screwed over way too many times. I think this whole little thing with Oz at the beginning, at the end of the last episode, in the beginning of this one, that was the last straw. She doesn't trust anybody anymore.
I think, like, because we got 2 or 3 characters on the brink of fracturing their psyches. Like you see Julian, like he's showing signs of like instability when she comes back, when she's released. You see Victor, like you see the PTSD. You're starting to see these characters just slightly have these little fractures in their psyche, which leads me to believe that they're going to be veering off into different kind of character developments. That's my thought process, and I think it's, if they do that, it's been crafted beautifully.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah,
and she sees with this. They could go either way they go with it. It will work. Yeah. So even if he doesn't, like, say Vic doesn't like go crazy by the end, it still works.
Mm-hmm. That's what I love about the show. It was like, we can pose all these theories, and because it's so well written, we get the groundwork where they all could work. You know who won't be showing up though in costume in any coming Batman project or anything? Magpie.
I knew you were gonna say that. I'm like, this ain't the same Magpie from the comics, bro. She does not have hand-to-hand combat experience.
Nope.
Got fucking plastered. Her face got plastered up against that table. Really
good. That was great. That was a great scene.
Is she dead? Is she dead though? Is she dead?
Yeah, I mean, if she's dead, I mean, who cares if Magpie comes back?
Her head's there's like bleeding profusely from the back of her head or her face, something like that. But
there's a puddle of blood on her crushed skull on the ground, so I think she's dead.
Yeah, she's.
This is Batman. You know, you realize that, right?
Yeah. But I like how that her teeth are all red. Like, obviously, she's been taking the drug
Bliss.
Bliss. Yeah.
What do we think of the progression of Sophia in Arkham from the, you know, she thinks she's gonna, this is just a misunderstanding, this is gonna be fixed, to basically smashing some chick's head into a bench?
She was
provoked. Logical progression.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, she was set up for failure, right? She was set up for a lose-lose situation. I mean, we all knew, and I think you'd be a little silly to believe that her lawyer was going to do anything when her father controls the system. Exactly. You know, controls the court, controls the judge. And I think Alberto was also equally as naive and ignorant to think that something would be done and that could be done. And the fact that he didn't even think for a second that this was all his or their father's doing, or that her father was responsible, because when she tells him that, he kind of, you know, just seemingly looks like he's in disbelief or has this like kind of face like in shock, because he even says like, yeah, I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. And it also kind of shows that Alberto is a little useless. Yeah. In signs of need, especially like when his sister needs him the most and he does nothing. I mean, sure, you could say that him showing up is something, and it is, because it showed that the only person that really cared about her well-being was her brother. Even though that was probably the extent of his capabilities, but she was set up to fail. You know, the Dr. Ventress was probably, you know, paid by Carmine to, you know, Baker act her time and time again, like basically just make her crazy to believe that she is the hangman, even though she's not, even though she is innocent and she didn't do those things. The idea is to make her believe that and to make her go crazy. And Magpie was essentially, you know, the first chess, first card to fall as the house of cards start to fall within her own mind, and that's what starts that chain reaction when she, kills Magpie and then looks right at Ventress and says, "I told you I'm innocent," and he's just like, "Sure you are."
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think it matters to Ventress whether she is or not.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
He's paid
once
to
you're
do
in a place
something.
like Arkham, normally, I truly don't think that. Did they say that Ventress was the head doctor there, or he's just?
He was, and then someone else was, and then someone else was, and then someone else was.
Yeah.
According
So
to
once you're in there, you're kind of their plaything.
You're cooked.
They're gonna
You're
do.
cooked.
Yeah, so she's definitely a pawn for the gaslighting her into, it doesn't matter who you are
I honestly
going
feel
in.
bad for her, man.
Oh, it's terrible. And to see this done so well,
Yeah.
from kind of a realistic point of view, because normally Arkham is just insanity. This just looks like corruption run amok. This is kind of how, if you could have a believable Arkham Asylum, this is kind of how I would imagine it being.
I think also all the extras involved in the Arkham scenes did a great job kind of making it like us believe, or like the audience believe, like this is a terrible place. Everyone in here is batshit crazy. Whether they've done something true or not. What? Go ahead, Gooch.
No, I gotta go. You guys have a great
Oh.
Okay.
Bye,
Take care.
Gooch.
Later, man.
Thanks for stopping by, man. Bye.
But yeah, I think they did a great job just adding in all the extras, like this one super malnourished lady here that she's about to set up the fight. And again, it's like, here, go ahead, kill this lady so we can show you that you're a killer.
Well, and also they would have documentation that she killed another, she was in there for a couple months and she killed somebody.
Exactly.
We told you. This is, but yeah, you're right. All of these extras, they all look emaciated. None of them look healthy. It's very well done. And and that one, the crazy lady, is just acting her ass off. I mean,
she was doing good with the stuttering and the twitching and shit.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah,
I think this whole thing it really resonates how like you could write really well done characters and they be female. You know how people usually go like, they're making these female characters, blah blah blah, and it's like all these actors, all these characters are the same. They're all women, but it works because they're just acting. And like throughout the entire episode, it's clear as day. It's Sophia against her family and the patriarchy of her family, but they don't talk down to you about that. They're just telling you the story. They're just showing you, hey, this is what she's fighting through and this is what she's doing. And they don't make a scene where it's like, see, women need to do this too. It's just, no, this is just a story and you're enjoying the story. So like if it had went the opposite way where it's like, oh, this is why you should listen to Sophia because she's a woman, it would have took me out because it's like, oh, you're doing good. You're just telling the story. Let it play out the way it plays out and let the audience figure out the story that you're trying to tell. And with this show, that's all they're doing is just showing you what's happening and letting you come to your own conclusions. And it's just great. It's fantastic, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I think we all are, which is weird contrast to House of the Dragon, right?
Yes,
very much so.
Completely.
Watch our optimism slowly die.
I was fighting. I was trying. Okay, I was giving it the benefit of the doubt. Okay.
Oh, me too.
I was trying, and they let me down.
Yeah.
They let me down.
I mean, our optimism just started with this. It started real great, and it's just been kind of just going in a straight line there from great.
I didn't think it was going to be good.
Great. No, I had mixed expectations, and it's exceeded every single one of them.
Yeah, I thought it would be decent, because it's coming from Matt Reeves' Batman universe, but I didn't think it would be like this good. Like if this entire season turns out the way that it's been going, it's going to be up there with Daredevil season 1. Like,
I agree.
It's one of the best comic book shows ever.
And it doesn't even have a hero. It doesn't have a superhero.
Yeah,
there's
there's no Batman.
Yeah.
Apparently, I mean, he's gonna show up. Batman's gonna show up. They probably lied. He's gonna show up,
Maybe at
but
the
it's not
very
about
end.
Batman, though.
Yeah, no, it's not about Batman, but it's set in a superhero setting. But I'm saying, and it'll bring so much to the cities and the landscape. So by the time that we get into the Batman 2,
Yeah,
you're just gonna be immersed in this world. And whether they decide to do a Penguin season 2, which I'm sure they are,
they should. They should.
This rate, they
or
probably
not
might,
concentrate on
yeah.
a different character in between the
2
in
and
between
3.
movies. Like,
Yeah.
it was like Marvel, take notes. This is how you should be doing these television shows, because this should get you excited and elaborate on things. It shouldn't just be a homework assignment where if you want to understand what's going on, it was like, no, this gives you insights on how different characters would react, what they would do, so you can tell a more fantastical story when it gets to the big feature film, because you already laid the groundwork with these other characters. You're not just going, oh, introduce new character so you can have new character in thing. It's like, no, these characters, Penguin's already in the movie. You know what I mean? Now we get to see the world that he walks around in. So like that's a more fleshed out character. That's a good thing to do. And they've done that with none of these shows.
Makes you want to go back and rewatch the Batman. Like I rewatched the Batman a few times after watching this, and it just elevates that experience more. Like it's a good feat to have something that you made after make you want to go back and watch something prior. So it's just, oh man,
Yeah,
so good.
I agree with you, Kata, and I think after watching this episode, especially like seeing what was done to Sophia, I was like, you know what? I'm glad that the Riddler basically killed Carmine Falcone.
Oh yeah,
he's a shit.
I was like, yeah. Which is so funny because it's like you realize how much of a villain Carmine is, and then you also understand like, well, the Riddler's also a bad villain as well. But you got villains taking each other out, which is just like, man, it just shows how crazy the city of Gotham really is. And it's like, I don't care, no one's on anyone else's side. Everyone's just, it's an all-out warfare.
Well, I like that you said that, Nick. It shows how bad Carmine is, right? And we haven't even gotten to the costumed crazy ones. You know what I mean? So it was like he's bad, and he's like a businessman, mobster. You know what I mean? And his soul is terrifying. And then you have someone like the Riddler, who they look at him. Guys like the Penguin are driving around going like, "Can you believe what that nut job?" I was like, "Oh, you're calling him a nut job? That guy's got to be terrifying." Like the escalation is insane. And Joshua says a great thing in the chat and was like, this is only the first 6 months of her 10-year stint in Arkham.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
I kind of want a whole show about it. I mean, I don't mean it in a way to watch her suffer, but I like stuff like this. Yeah.
It's an inherently interesting story. I hope they kind of elaborate on it further, but although like I was really hoping that Arkham show gets greenlit, because I think it was
greenlit, and then they said that it was canceled, and then what I saw today was it might not be fully canceled. They were trying to see how good the Penguin was going to do before like greenlighting the rest of the shows. So
yeah,
if that's the real rumor, that they were trying to see how good the Penguin was going to be, then they got it, bro, because Penguin is awesome.
And and I don't want to play favorites here. We haven't seen the men's wing of Arkham either.
Oh yeah.
So
I don't know. We will we? I don't see a reason we would.
Well,
probably by the end.
I'm assuming we saw it when Batman went to go see the Riddler. Or was that Blackgate? I'm assuming it had to be Arkham. But I can't imagine that it's all sunflowers and daisies over there either, so there's a lot that they could do with that show. And even if they made it an anthology where each episode focuses on a different character, there's a lot of great stories you can tell. R.I.P. Magpie.
Yep.
Adios, Magpie.
Forever in our hearts.
See
Yeah,
this. Why don't they
go ahead.
just do? I'm sorry. I had the. I want them to do a Batman show at this point. Like, have your like cinematic Batman, and then just keep Robert Pattinson's Batman. Like, do like a villain of the week type thing with Batman and all these villains and all this. Like,
Like
because
minor villains,
yeah,
like
like this
the
is like
Magpie tier.
yeah, something like that, and
Yeah.
just keep expanding because this is like really good groundwork for
Yeah.
a universe.
It
We
And
don't
is.
it's
we don't
so
need a
rich.
full movie for some of these villains. You
Yeah,
know, an
No.
episode will do. And by the way, why we're still on Magpie, I'm positive a lesser writer would have made that character Harley Quinn.
yeah, she
Oh,
would have been a
dude.
hell of a
Yeah.
That's what
villain.
I thought originally who it was, to be honest. I was like,
It's
oh,
just
fuck.
too easy of a choice.
What does
In
this mean?
A
If his
worse
name
writer
is-
would have made that character upsetting, like
the name
annoying.
Bertinelli. Oh, okay. He's talking
Who's
about Huntress.
Bertinelli?
Huntress. It's a comic book character. Just I could go further, but yeah, she has very heavy mob ties to and she also has one of the hottest outfits in comics.
Mhm. I don't know. I think the universe that Matt Reeves is cooking up could be very promising. I mean, I know not everyone was a huge fan of the Batman, but I think now because of the show, it's in turn making that movie even more substantial than it was before. But also when we lead up to the second Batman and whatever we end up getting villain wise, whether it's one villain, two villain, kind of like what Kato was saying, to introduce other lower tier villains, but also higher tier villains that we just don't see a lot on screen is what could really make Matt Reeves's Batman universe very likable and maybe a little bit more redeemable in terms of like what James Gunn is more inevitably going to cook up. That is probably like the standard, like we're going to introduce these same characters because you've seen them like a billion fucking times, and it's like because we can't do anything original anymore, like but I don't know. I'm liking what Reeves's universe is creating, more, and especially because this is seemingly a different kind of but similar take on the Long Halloween. At least that's what it's could be cooking up to. Especially like Julian Rush ends up turning out to be the Calendar Man and everything like that. Like could be something awesome.
I mean, they've definitely borrowed aspects from the Long Halloween. I personally don't think they can go with that.
Not 100% for sure.
No, just simply because you would need Batman to solve the mystery. You would need Harvey Dent to fill in his role in the story. They haven't even shown you Harvey Dent. They haven't. That would be farther along in Batman's history, but not much farther. I'd say that it's probably like 3 to 5 years in, more than just year 2.
Right.
Because, that leads to, spoiler alert, Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face, but
you didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where you've been, but
I was thinking of like what character would make more sense for them to bring on from the movies, because obviously they're not going to do Batman. I feel Catwoman character, because she's involved in the clubs and stuff like that. I feel that would make more sense to have a cameo here than
that would be great.
Just to tie into the movie. But I don't know if they'll do that either. But before we
especially
get into
with the whole connection between Carmine and Sophia, I mean, they're sisters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's a fair point. I forgot about that. I haven't seen.
But yeah.
He has 2 hot daughters. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot in different ways.
Yeah.
Very true.
Josh, I hope next week you can join us because you're laying down some pretty good facts in the
Yeah, he's right though. I think it's leaning more towards Court of Owls than anything.
Court of Owls.
Yeah, I
Is
agree.
that the other one I have to read? I have that
Yeah.
as a Kindle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Pretty good,
especially
yeah.
with that whole thing where she's chipping the paint off.
Yeah.
And it's slowly becoming like this, has this real Art Deco design that may or may not have been the wallpaper in the room that her mother died. That feels very much like a Court of Owls thing where, it's under this rough exterior, there's this bevy of Gotham's rich and powerful who are running things behind the scenes, and you kind of infer that under this gray chipping paint, there's this grand design here. Felt very symbolic to me.
I could see that.
You're so deep, Sammy. You're so deep.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I just don't know what other villains we would see that really makes sense at this point of Batman's young career as Batman.
No.
Like Clayface, sure, would love to see Clayface on screen, but is that really going to make sense? I don't want to see Joker. Obviously, we already know Joker exists. He's already in Arkham. But like, Bane, but just done differently, maybe more comic accurate. Bane. Yeah, actual Bane, like that would be cool. I wouldn't mind seeing Poison Ivy again.
Mm-hmm. I think Mr. Freeze would be a good one.
Yeah.
If they go fantastical though, but he's already said they're not trying to go fantastical with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you don't necessarily have to go fantastical. You can go a little fantastical where he's not walking around like freezing the crap out of people. He just has that suit.
Yeah, you can still do it, but
you can still do it.
I don't see them doing it right though.
No, and especially with this, it's gonna gravitate more around Gotham's organized crime. So guys like Bane shouldn't come in until you've established more of the heavier hitter villains, because he has to beat them in order for Bane to like deem Batman worthy of being hunted. So you have to take down all these characters before someone like Bane would that Batman would be on his radar where he thinks he's a worthy adversary, and you also need to establish these other villains being dangerous in order to bring Bane, or he's just another super villain. He's just another villain. He's just the flavor of the week. That's really not how Bane should be handled. He should kind of be like the end all say all on that. Oh my God, her in this dress, which I love.
Fuck.
She was wearing a yellow dress last time, which was kind of childish, and now she's wearing this one, which is like elegant, very adult, very classy.
Well, her innocence is gone. Innocence is completely gone out of this. Before we get into this, because I know this was a big part of this episode, does anybody have any other further comments on the Arkham aspect or the relationship between Julian and her? Because for me, that scene kind of felt too long. It played out way too long.
I agree.
Which is at his place?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I don't know. Maybe the only reasoning to make it long was just to show that there was just a little bit more of a connection between them, or that's what Julian wants from her, and that she's like, all right, well, thanks for letting me clean myself up and be in your clothes, and I've outsmarted you, seemingly, and we could be wrong, right? In that way, she's just gonna end up trying to use her at some point in time, but it could have been trimmed down like maybe a minute or two, something along those lines. But
I'm sure it's establishing something that's going to play out further on in later episodes, establishing that there is that foundation relationship. But man, this end act for this episode, French kiss.
Oh my God.
So well done. So well shot. So well, just put together. Because I did not know where any of this was going. I was like, why are you opening a fucking window? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
And also, while we're on it, just 5 words of her in this yellow dress.
Hubba
hubba, baba.
3 extra points because of the dress. Jesus Christ.
She's just bringing the just.
She's so fucking hot, bro.
There's a couple of things about her too.
This like I got it going. Like, look at that face right there.
I'm trying not to sip, bro, but Jesus Christ.
If
she told me to carve somebody up, I probably would.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Not to simp on her, but the thing that I liked about her getup was the yellow dress is the complete opposite as to everyone there in the family, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
And it's a statement. Not only that, but look at her, the way her like mascara is, the way her hair is. She almost seems like she's
Not
like,
covering up her neck either.
well, yeah, it's just it's like she's
I didn't
kind of
notice
gone like
that.
this full like metal like goth emo moment where she's just like almost like super. I mean, she is being super rebellious towards everyone. She's just like, like again, like fuck the patriarchy. I'm here. Look at me. I'm a badass. And like
That's
literally
all this
though.
entire part was. Is like, hey,
Yeah,
fuck the patriarchy, but it's not like in a way where it's unclassy. It works.
that's
Like,
what this
'cause
No,
episode.
any other
it's like a
show would
literal
be-
fucking of the patriarchy.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not the
literally-
metaphorical patriarchy.
She literally,
it is the
she basically
patriarchy.
says it though.
Her
That's the
actual
crazy part.
patriarchy.
She basically says, "Hey, fuck how this works or whatever." Like, all of you guys. But if this was a lesser show, it would have been so annoying. This part would have been so irritating.
Actually, Kata, I would add to that. It's even if she would to do that here as she's doing, it's because we've spent time the last 3 episodes not understanding to her full extent, but getting to know the character, now seeing her background. So obviously, if she's being thrown in Arkham by her father, these men through the last couple episodes have been telling her basically go to Italy or you're going to disappear, like you're nothing. And then for her to pull this badass moment, it makes sense because they've built to it instead of just throwing a Mary Sue moment in.
That's why it's so good, because a lesser show, this part would have seemed forced. It would have seemed like she's like, oh, fuck all the men, and it wouldn't have felt as organic as it has.
Well, the other thing about this, right, in the toast that she gives when she says Centi'Anni, right, like in Italian it means
100 years.
Yeah, may you live for 100 years. And the fact that she says like this is to new beginnings, she's literally just spelling it out to them that but they have no idea what's about to happen. But she's already like, you're all going to die, and I'm going to take over and make this family live for another 100 years.
Yeah,
and
she's toasting herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, which is just it's honestly diabolical. Like her plan
so
here.
Sexy.
And I'm like, I support it because
whatever her metamorphosis was, it is now complete and fully realized. She's
the hangman now.
She's
when
done.
she
No, she's not the hangman. She's
got them doughy eyes, man.
She's Ma Falcone. Like she's coming and she's grabbing this family. She's whether you didn't realize that she's head of this family, she's head of this family now.
When she says, Carla, sit down, when that look, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
be still my heart.
I assume some of you would be paying her to,
I would have barked.
We had these talks like, I can fix her. She can fix me, bro. Like,
I let her ruin me, dude. No fixing. No fixing.
Oh my God.
Super.
I
am a super simp for her, dude.
The next show we're reviewing on this channel is gonna have some hot dudes because I have nobody to look at in this at all.
Oz looks pretty good, right?
Oz looks exactly like my dad. I don't think so.
Not when the makeup's off.
No, Colin Farrell, but I don't
still
find
Colin Farrell.
Attractive. Yeah, I don't find him attractive. Yeah, not my type.
Some other dude. He's new to acting. This is his first gig.
Yeah.
Morgan, would you do? Is this your wood, Morgan?
Yeah.
I do want to, when I grow up, be like Sophia. I would. Sophia is the D&D character I play all the time. The very malice, like, don't give a shit, gotta like kill everybody, don't care. Like, you should listen to some of our streams. Half the time, the team's like, all right, how do we get into this building without? I'm like, why don't we just blow the building up? If there's innocent people in there, I know, but if we blow it up, it would save us time. Like, so. Anyway, besides Nadia being a sociopath. I do like the fact that she does save her youngest cousin, I believe.
Gia. Yeah, she lets her
Gia.
go get ready for bed, basically. She wants cake, though. Gia wanted some cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Her prance, she's kind of like prancing throughout the house, just like she's living her best life, killing her whole family here. And
the end,
I don't blame
is what
her.
Caught me. It caught me off guard.
She's not a monster.
I don't know. She just fucking killed a whole house.
It was like well, I mean, she's a monster as far as like the organized crime thing. It was like she understands that her cousin isn't part of this.
She got vengeance.
Yes.
Vengeance.
I at first did not like the fact that she left Johnny alive, but to me, he is set up to be such an asshole that he deserves a more
gruesome
torturous death. Yes, more gruesome death, I feel.
I think she left him alive because he has more connects, Like Luca, he came out of the country to rule the family, but Johnny Vitti has been there, right? So he would have more connects, and she could use him to her advantage more.
And now, let's face it, he's kind of a snivelly chicken shit type character. She's got him by the she's got him in the palm of her hand.
Oh, yeah.
She's calling the shots now. But like even this, there's kind of almost like like I said, it's very whimsical the way that she's kind of just prancing around the house like this. I was like, this is like a total liberation. Yeah, she's skipping, got a little skip in her system.
It was so good.
Yeah, it's great.
The entire time I was like, whose window did she leave open? Whose window did she leave open?
Yeah.
She takes
so
the gun.
well done. Yep, and Luca's dead.
Yep.
Good for her, man. I am all about this.
Good for her. Good job murdering all those people.
Listen, this is a strong female character.
Whether
if it's a good person or bad person. How in the last 10 or 15 years, who can you name as a good, like, developed female character that's just not given everything or complaining about something? Like, she's doing the dirty work. She's not hiring anyone else to do it. She's doing it herself.
Yeah, I think this is the, dare I say, correct way to write a strong female character.
Oh,
even if she is a quote unquote
she's a
villain, right? I mean, I definitely don't think there's I mean, I'd have to maybe do a little bit more thinking, but off the top of my head, I don't think I can name anyone that's been done originally, or and I won't use something like Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, because those come from books, right? Like those aren't like something new spot on from in like an original IP or anything like that. But Bellatrix,
yeah.
Well, that's the thing, though. A lot of this, even though she's a comic book character, a lot of this is brand new.
Exactly. Comic book Sophia is it's a little bit different than this, right? So it's
I mean it's not even comparable.
Yeah,
she doesn't get nearly the development that we're seeing in here.
Right.
To me, mainstream doesn't have quite many strong female characters, but like even if you don't like these movies, the last two Terrifiers, the woman who plays Sienna, fantastic, great, strong final girl. Like that's what I want. I want this. I want a Sophia. I want a little bit more expansion on female characters instead of like, oh, she's a victim. Oh, she was handed everything or something. Like, stop playing victims, make victims.
I think the only
you need to get that on a t-shirt for you.
That's a great thing. Don't be a victim, make a victim. All right.
I think the only person comic book wise that could have come close, but again, the ball was dropped, I think would have been Wanda from the MCU.
Yeah, but the ball was dropped.
Yeah.
Exactly. They dropped the ball. They
have one, but I mean, I guess it doesn't really count because it was Netflix, but Karen Page on Daredevil was fucking fantastic.
Even Jessica Jones, too.
Yeah, Jessica Jones season 1 was great.
Yeah, they kind of lost the script in season 3, but
I've never watched season 3.
It's not good.
It just went full female identity.
Nothing beats 1. 2's okay, but nothing beats
season 1 was great.
Tenet as a
yes.
villain.
Oh my god, he was so maniacal. It was great.
Yeah.
And coming off of Doctor Who, oh yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I just rewatched Jessica Jones a few weeks ago, and his tone when she's like going away, he's like Jessica. You're like, oh, dude, he's so maniacal. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is the Penguin. I think this was a very strong episode. I think this this to me is right under for the pilot. Like the other two weren't bad, but I think this was well written, paced well. Introduction to new characters you didn't really need to expand on. You got the feeling between what the relationship was between Julian and Sophia. The cliffhanger. We don't know what's going to happen now. She killed her entire family. She definitely knows Oz killed her brother. What's going to happen now? So I
haven't even watched the preview for next week.
I won't say anything.
I don't want to
watch anymore. I usually don't, but I gave into it because I'm like, man, I'm so intrigued by where we're at right now.
I'm so interested that I don't want to see it because I just want it to unfold in front of me. Pause. I just want it to happen in front of me.
It's not super revealing, to be honest with you. I feel like it's like whatever they cut to show as a preview doesn't really tell a lot because I'm sure I'm like, man, it just seems like there's a lot that's going to happen in episode 5 that we're like we're just now about to go through like the thick of the roller coaster, right? Like we've just been like, it's been a good ride and we've been coasting, but we're really about to start going through those loops and like spirals that are just like crazy. And like, you really start to feel the G-force of this show. I feel like
sound like me for like the first 5 episodes of House of the Dragon. How many times ago? They're all on the board now.
It's about to start kicking off, man. I'm telling you.
Next episode's gonna be
episode. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna count. How many times did my delusional ass say that? It had to be almost every episode.
You weren't delusional, Sammy. It was just we were misled drastically.
Dude, I'm thinking, oh man, next episode, dude, it's gonna be crazy. Next episode happens.
Yep.
I listen, why are you walking through the fucking woods? What are we doing here?
Yep.
God.
What's the next one? It's the Knights of the Seven Realm, I think is the next one or something. Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah.
So that will be the one we'll review. We might as well, right? We might as well all suffer together.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe back at it.
I kind of feel like maybe season 3 will be all right because they have to do something eventually, correct?
I hope they're all done with the fillers.
I didn't say House of Dragon season 3. I said Knights of the Seven Kingdom. I'm still recovering from the
Dunkin' Egg.
Dunkin' Egg, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fine. We'll go around, give final thoughts and rating on it. Sammy? We'll start
I'm gonna give this one. I don't want to give it a 10. I'm gonna give it like a 9. Yeah, I'll give it a 9. This is a solid 9.
Okay. All right. Nick, how about you?
Yeah, that's where I am. I'm at a 9, and I agree with you, Nadia. I think compared to the other 3 episodes and the fact that we are halfway through this season and what we've got, I mean, I think they're 4 for 4 with this show. I think, again, every episode's been good or great. In contrast with other shows out there, it's really rare to see a show have, especially halfway through the show to have every episode be good and to be enjoyable and watchable and for us to talk about it and have like redeeming things to say about it. And I know like we don't want to always compare things to the pilot episode, which is probably still the best episode so far, but man, this was just such a banger. I really don't have much negative things to say about it at all. I don't think there's really a lot that I disliked about it, except for maybe that scene between Julian and Sophia could have been cut down a little bit, but maybe the fact that it just wasn't long enough. I could have watched an entire flashback episode of her in Arkham, just be an hour long and watching some of the time skips, like Joshua was saying in the chat, where we see maybe her being in there for 5 years and see where she's at. And who knows, maybe we'll get another flashback. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to getting that at some point in time, but yeah, just a great episode.
Hold on, Bobby, you're making a batch of hooch. I want some, man. That's a good stuff.
Authentic. Are you doing like actual like like some of that shine, or
is it country shine or what?
Both. I'm okay with the bathtub one and the and the one you just, yeah. I agree with you, Nick. I agree with you pretty much. My rating is a 9 out of 10 on this. I think it's a very strong episode. I think it shows to the writer's ability to be able to take it and just showcase Sophia and just have Oz in just in a couple scenes when this show is supposed to be about the Penguin, but not everybody get upset about it, right? Because it's well done short storytelling. She's a strong character. And I'm I was hooked with the pilot. The last couple episodes were okay. This one hooked me back in. Like, I'm very excited to sit down Sunday and see what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Kata? What do you give it?
The 9. It's the entire series so far.
How do I even ask you?
Yeah, it's just solid. I mean, I have nothing to complain about besides, the scene between her and Julian definitely could have been cut down a little bit, but it still got the point across, and it's not like he's a bad character or the interaction was bad. It's just, I feel like it did drag on a little too long, but I give it a 9. It's solid. This is great storytelling. These are great characters. All of them, I'm interested in everything. I'm actually looking forward to watching it every Sunday, unlike another show I'm being forced to watch, fucking Agatha. I love this show, dude. It's such a palate cleanser. And even if it wasn't based on the Penguin and this was just a regular old mobster show, I would still be saying the same thing. This is like really good. This is really good storytelling.
Yeah. Well, Sammy, where are you going to be this week, my friend?
I'm jumping right from this to Triple M. We're doing Near Dark, and I absolutely love that.
That's why you're dressed like that. That's why you're dressed like that.
That
is
this is called style.
It's still 90 degrees here. Sorry.
No, it is. I don't know. It's like 40 by us.
Jesus, it is 75 here in
Florida. 84 here.
Yeah, it was 90-some degrees around.
Yeah, no, this fall. This is t-shirt and leather jacket season for Sammy 3-Pete. That is his uniform. But
we're moving away from the t-shirt and the other shirt over. We're going to leather jacket t-shirt now.
Yeah, leather. Yes, and then once we get farther in, it will be t-shirt cardigan. Because I am classy. Tomorrow I think I'll be back with you. We're going on Jacob Ironside's to talk about the Addams Family, which is another movie that I don't know if I necessarily love, but I like it quite a bit. And then after that, I will just be doing the animation block on Gooch's channel. We will be finishing up Invincible season 2, which I am very excited for. Wednesday, we're doing the auction for Zach and all of his art. And I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we can make him some money. And then Thursday, I'm on Roman's channel, and then we are doing episode 2 of Uzumaki. And Saturday, I will be I'll be on Nia's channel. We'll be having a panel. We're going through all the Alien movies, all the Predator movies.
Oh, wow.
All the
nice.
Saturday? I'm on that with you too. Yeah, yep.
I feel like that's going to be like a 12-hour stream because I would not be able to
we're taking it film by film, but
okay. I was gonna say like that's a whole day's worth of conversation right there.
If y'all want another person, I would love to do that. I love Predator.
Well, I'll talk to him. I'm sure he'd be happy to have you.
I hope you get those ESG scores up. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I believe he is a Black Australian. Kata.
He is a Black Australian.
We're full up. Sorry, man. No, I'm kidding.
He doesn't count. He's Australian. All right.
Anything else, Sammy?
No. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. I adore you. Nick, what do you got going on this week?
Yeah, not much as far as other live streams, like Sammy and some other folks, but I will definitely be on the From stream this Friday. I missed last week because of being sick in lieu of Hurricane Milton coming through Florida here, which was fun. It's a nice 75 degrees here in Central Florida, and we're getting a quote unquote cold front in 2 days, which I will be enjoying in shorts and a shirt, I'm sure, because I like to feel cold sometimes. But as far as content goes, I got a video coming out on Saturday night. The movie called Saturday Night Live, or on Saturday Night Live. We actually saw the movie late Saturday night. Really enjoyed it. That should be coming out either tonight or tomorrow. Definitely a good movie to watch. Don't watch Joker or some other shitty ass movies that are in theaters right now. I would say definitely go see this movie if you like a good origin story, a good 70s type vibe and some comedy in there where it just kind of feels it, how things used to be, like, good and not so controlling here like they are right now. That would be my 2 cents to go watch that movie. But you got some other videos we'll be putting out this week as well, and then back here next Monday.
Based, Nick, very based.
Yep.
Kata, what about you?
Yeah, I just got videos coming out on my channel. I might actually this week I will have a video discussing the Penguin and just how good it is and how it breaks a lot of the narratives a lot of people like to bring around. And streaming wise, I will be obviously on Friday. We're doing New Black Street. I'm trying to get this guest on. Hopefully she says yes. That would be awesome. But if not, we're still gonna be there. And yeah, just come around for a few hours of this pure tomfoolery. So just come hang out with us. And then I just be around making videos. Whenever I'm summoned, I show up on streams. So yeah, that's it.
Who might it be, Gato?
If she, well, I gotta message her again because
I take a guess.
Yeah.
Is it Gothics?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I've never interacted with Gothics a day in my life.
It's not me. So just FYI.
I don't like asking random people that I don't know to come on stream. It's kind of weird. But she is a she, so you don't have to worry about that one. Hopefully
that is true. An actual she, yeah.
Is it Moxie?
No.
Okay.
Even though that will happen in the future, most likely.
You should do Moxie, and you should do Sassy too, because both of them are more culture war than pop culture is, and I think they would have both great insight for the banter that you guys have back and forth with the topics.
What time does that stream start, Kaida?
That's an idea. We do 5 to 7 Central, 6 to 8 Eastern.
Okay, so it's like right up to our From stream then. Cool.
Yeah, just about. That's why I don't get on the From stream, because sometimes we go a little over, and then usually my fun self, I like to drink on those streams, so I'm kind of drunk by the end. So.
As for myself, I have 11 more streams to go through till Sunday. Yeah. But two I want to highlight. All of them are very important. Don't get me wrong. All are very important. But tomorrow I have another live Horror Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So I will be having another one. That seems to be doing great. Saturday morning, I will be with Latino Slant Polly in studio with the Salty Nerd. So I will be there in the morning as well. So, and then I'm on a bunch of different ones. I'm on Smile on From with you guys. I will be seeing Smile 2 this week. So I will be dropping a review on Friday. I have not been able to get any videos out this week. I'm sorry. I overbooked myself, but it's okay. I'm going to talk about awesome stuff that I love. Lastly, again, I just want to highlight again, please go vote for me. Please. I am currently sitting in 7th place. It doesn't end for 9 days, so there's a way to go. But please just remember, you can vote once every day for free, as long as you have a Facebook. That being said, thank you to my panel for joining me today. And on that note, we'll see you all back here on Monday. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Cheers.